This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello and welcome to the Medley show with me, Simply Cecil. How you doing? Okay, I hope you're good. Last week we learned English and yeah, I hope we learned a lot. I saw many of your messages and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Today we'll be discussing something pretty different. Now, driving home every day, I see a whole big trash bin beside the markets, and beside the market you see the person frying akara, the one doing this and many things, fruits and all that, and I just wonder, is there no other way waste can be gathered properly? Our environment many times is pretty much very much polluted, and yet we just move on like all is normal. There was a time I watched on the news a school that was I think the garbage has almost eaten all into the school. It happens in many areas, in many rural areas, even in the city centers. Anyhow, we'll be talking about our environment, keeping our environment safe, and we'll try to break down as we go along the climate change conference, the United Nations Climate Change Conference, popularly called COP, the 26th edition we just held in Glasgow. Yes, I know you would have heard about it. The president went there, made a speech, some resolutions were arrived at, some are a little dicey, but anyhow, we're going to try to break them in little pieces for our easy understanding and how that very big conference that held in Glasgow affects you here watching us today. But just before that, let's take a look at this feature put together by Ridwan, and this feature is on waste generation and management, what we need to know.
According to the World Bank report, the average global municipal solid waste (MSW) generation per person on daily basis is about 1.2 kg, and the figure is expected to rise up to 1.5 kg by 2025. The result of another study reveals that 93.1% of households dispose of food debris as waste, and 77.8% dispose of plastic materials as waste, although the issue of indiscriminate solid waste disposal is a global one. Modernization, high standard of living, increase in population, technological innovation, and excessive urbanization over the years has drastically contributed to the generation of municipal waste through industrial and domestic activities. In most cases, open areas, highways, uncompleted buildings, and bushes are considered as dumping sites. When an environment is not hygienic and clean, the outcome exposes humans to environmental degradation such as flooding, drainage obstruction, widespread of infectious diseases, and other plagues. The situation of indiscriminate waste disposal is alarming, and in most cases, the host communities bear the consequences before any other, as it is transferred gradually. Keeping our environment clean is a duty, and as such, everyone needs to start taking immediate action to minimize his or our garbage problem. And the first step is to reduce the waste being generated at individual levels. Here is a 5-step guide on how to reduce the waste generated. 1. As one plastic bottle takes up to 1,000 years to decompose itself, the only solution is to dump plastic and look for alternatives. Plastic bags are harmful for the environment. So for the next shopping expedition, replace plastic bags with a mesh bag that comes with a drawstring or a cloth bag. 2. Segregate waste into two categories, biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Put wet waste like leftover foods, vegetables, peels in an organic dustbin, which can later be used for composting. Segregation of waste can reduce the garbage burden on the already overflowing landfills, thereby curbing the pollution levels. 3. Composting can reduce household waste generation by 30%. Composting is also beneficial for plant growth as it provides many essential nutrients for them. It is believed that a family of 4 can easily reduce their waste from 1,000 kg to less than 100 every year if they adopt segregation and composting. 4. Papers account for almost 35% of the waste that is dumped in landfills. From paper cups to napkins, everything ends up in the landfill from the trash can. To reduce paper waste, start using old clothes like rags for cleaning around the house. Avoid using paper plates in house parties. 5. A simple way of contributing and making a small difference towards waste disposal is to adopt the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. For example, instead of throwing the plastic bottles, use them to decorate your house and make other DIY plastic showpieces. Use old wood and pallets to build compost bins. Reuse toiletries like shampoo bottles as cell charging stations. Old toothbrushes as cleaning tools. Human health and the environment need to be safeguarded for unsanitary conditions caused by indiscriminate solid waste disposal that has always led to pollution and outbreak of diseases. With a little push, support, and education to improve people's practices and perceptions regarding waste management, some of the challenges confronting municipalities in the area of waste management can be minimized.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I hope we've learned a thing or two on that and how to, alternate ways of trying to keep safe. I know there are many things they talk about waste generation, talk about don't dispose nylon, plastics, I don't know. All those. We're going to talk about this as we continue. And you can be part of this conversation by reaching us on our phone line. And our phone line is 081 177 82020, which is showing on your screen at this point. Please, I beg you, Ejo, Bikonu. What's it in Hausa now? Okay, please, Danla, don't call, just send messages so I can read as many of your messages as possible. And you can tell us about waste generation in your area, waste generation, and how do you manage your waste in your area. Share with us, tell us about it. You can also tell us what you also understand at the COP26, or when we talk about climate change, what do you understand about it? And yeah, I have a guest with me in the studio, and together we'll try to do justice. She is an environmentalist, and she has quite an intimidating resume here with me, but I can't read it all. But she's an environmentalist. She's the CEO and principal consultant of Sea Circle Research, and she is Dr. Chimere May Ohajinwa. Okay, I tried. Pronounce the surname well for me.
Ohajinwa.
Ohajinwa. All right. Thank you very much for coming around, Madam Environmentalist. Okay. Before we get to talk COP, let's talk about waste generation and get to manage our waste. So many times, I don't know, I just get done with waste in my house, I dump it to the trash, then they take it out, they dump it. I don't care where it goes to. So really tell us about waste generation, the different generation of waste that we are involved in, which as humans naturally, and how does it end up?
Right, I'm happy to be here today. My name is again Dr. Chimere Ohajinwa. I'm an environmental health specialist. And waste management is actually my core, and that's what
okay.
yeah, that's what I'm known for, being into different management of waste, from hospital waste to municipal waste. How do you talk about our liquid waste? There are different waste types of waste we generate every day. And the proper way to manage waste is actually supposed to be from segregation, from beginning, from your house. How do you manage your waste? So you're not supposed to actually just have one dustbin for everything.
Seriously?
Yeah, for your banana, for your paper, for your bottle, for your nylon, for your plastics. No, they're supposed to be like a minimum of 3 dustbins, so that you have the one that decompose. That's from the kitchen, the one from the food. Those ones can decompose. That is supposed to be in one dustbin. The one that can't decompose, you have your maybe plastics and papers can be in one. So you have the one that you know, bottles in one. So when your Mebola or whoever comes to take away the waste comes, so the ones that are they can decompose are taken away for decompose. So you can turn it to compost manure, you can turn it to whatever. And then the one that's like plastics, where you can recycle them. You take it to the recycling. But what we do currently is that we put everything together, and then it becomes another job to segregate them. So now they start sorting it again. But had it been you did your segregation from home at source, that's how you're supposed to do. So even at the hospital level, the same thing. You're supposed to segregate them.
It's not a practice. It's not a practice. Okay, now in the line of your work, you get to meet with people at the grassroots, and you also discuss with policymakers. So let's go down. What do you observe around when you go for trainings or for functions like this?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We segregation is not very emphasized.
Who is supposed to help? Who is supposed to start the whole sensitization of us segregating? Because of course we know when we travel out, we actually even see trash bins where they tell you recyclable, non-recyclable, you know, and all that. So how do we start all that campaign here?
I think those campaign has always been. It's just that we don't practice it. It's just that maybe more is emphasized in bigger industries, but not at home, or maybe in the hospitals. Because in the hospitals, you can't just put your bandage in the same dustbin that you put your moi foil or your banana or orange peel. They usually provide different dustbins in the hospitals. So, but at home, we are not emphasizing it. So it becomes a lot of job to manage our waste when the waste disposal people come to our houses to pick it up. Everything is, in fact, some people don't even care to even put it in nylon before disposing it. They just empty the whole dustbin like that inside the big dustbin and expect the person that is supposed to pick it up how. But at least we're supposed to even tie it in the nylon. That's the minimum we expect. If you cannot even segregate at your house, at least tie it in the nylon. So when the person comes, it's easier for the person to pick it up and just put it in the
I don't know if
bin.
you've seen what I've seen. You know, in my opening, I mentioned the fact that just beside markets, schools, places like this, you see a whole big trash there.
Yes. So it's because, maybe it's because it's not emphasized, or we don't care. We don't think it affects us. But that's where public health comes in. That's my specialty in public health, and with emphasis on environmental health. So as a public health person, how does this environment affect me? How am I managing my waste, and how does it affect me as a person? So if you think you can just dump your waste anyhow, and without thinking about the consequences, and the consequences, you're talking about cholera, water pollution, there are so many. Now we even go as far as burning the waste. We don't care whatever it is we are burning, whether we are burning battery, we are burning orange peels, we are burning. All those things have impact on our health. So if you're not talking about it, it affects us. But because you think it's not in my backyard, therefore I can throw it anyhow. It's not in my backyard. We don't think that it affects us somehow. It comes around to affect us. Now everybody is drinking borehole. We are all connected to borehole. So if you're not taking care of our waste, it can contaminate our groundwater, which we are all drinking. And then it comes around and you're wondering why we are having cancer, we are having kind of diseases that we cannot, we don't understand.
Okay, now,
but because we don't care.
How far should, you know, the big trash bin, how far should it be? Okay, you know, every house seems to have one outside their house. Now, in major places like motor parks and market, they also have one big one. How far away from where people are, people are carrying out daily activities, how far should that trash bin be?
No, it's not so much about how far it should be. It's not about distance. It's about emptying it as frequent as it should. After all, you have dustbin in your bedroom, you have dustbin in your kitchen, you have dustbin. So it's not so much about the distance, it's about how do you empty it so that it doesn't start breeding rodents. You're talking about Lassa fever, that's how it starts. You know, if you're not keeping it clean, it's about cleanliness now, it's about sanitation. How often do we take it out? How often do we make sure that it doesn't overstay and overflow and now becomes an eyesore? It starts smelling. So it's not so much about the distance.
For those of you watching, how do you in your home? Do you actually practice what you said? Do you segregate, sort your trash
From home,
from home. The ones that can
your plastics, your plastic bottles, your nylons, your paper one, the one that can decompose into one. So it makes it easier. Make sure you tie it. Don't just pour it like that in the dustbin. Tie it so that it's easier for the person that comes to pick it up.
And how often, I don't know, maybe you can share with us, I told you, waste generation and management. For those, maybe in different states across the country, they have different, the environmental people who come to pick trash, right? So in your area, tell us how often does this happen, or how do you get to manage waste, so that the waste just get overfull? Even you as an individual, what role are you doing to ensure that your environment is healthy? Mama, once upon a time, growing up in Lagos, we do this Saturday environmental sanitation. We all come out as on the streets, everybody with rakes, shovels, every house must be represented to make sure it's clean. And I don't know if that is still a practice in Lagos, and it's not a practice here in FCT, at least that I know. So what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think it's a good practice. At least it's a good practice, but it's not like, I look forward to us overgrowing that. You know, we outgrow that being reminded to come out to represent. No, I think we can outgrow, in as much as I look forward to us outgrowing that is a good practice, at least at this basic level. So a lot of people don't care about the environment, but if you are forced to come out, and then you have to come out, and probably, hopefully, we imbibe that culture of keeping the environment clean.
Okay, I already see your messages coming in, and let me just take one very quickly, and then we'll go on to Vox Pop. All right, good day. My name is Clement Agene from Lagos. For my zone, we normally keep our waste stage in a safe place, trusting that Lagos Waste Management Agency to respond. Trusting that Lagos Waste Management Agency to respond. We find it difficult to respond to her duties. Okay, I am a little confused. Your message. In this case, please do send your message again. It's not pretty clear. Maybe you want to write it a little clearer. All right, let's go on to the street, where we actually asked you some questions on when last did you engage in community cleanup in your environment?
Community cleanup I used to do is just on individual basis. And I usually come out, especially on Saturdays, to just clean my area, and that is what I do.
We organize ourselves as women. Every Saturday we all come out. We do clean up, we clean the environment. After the cleaning of the environment, the gutter, we wash it. We use broom, we use rake. After everything, we burn the dirt.
Every day I wake up and I find out the place is dirty, we clean. Community, to a large extent, people have stopped doing communal cleaning. So most times when I'm passing by and I see dirt that will obstruct my movement or probably cause havoc, I pick it and I remove it. And then at the community level, we have this problem with the babambola. They pick your dirt. Once you're out of sight, they dump it and walk away. So some of these times when we find those kind of dirt, we pick them and keep. So when next the babambola comes, we stand there until he disappears from the street, and we are sure that he's not dropping it on the way. That's how we clean.
I do engage in community service every month. It's not with an organization, but it's a private based because it is where I live. With my neighbors, we do clean our community. Go around, clean the surrounding of our houses, clean the gutters, pack the dirt, and dump them where we can dump the refuse dump.
I clean my environment every day. It's a daily affair. And then even this morning, I cleaned my surrounding. And then and trashed it into a poly bag. And then these environmental people usually come around and pick them up. They come in interval of 4 days. It depends, 3 days sometimes, but not up to a week. Yeah.
We do it often, even up to last month. And we engage the person to be sweeping twice in a week. And it keeps the place clean. At the end, she packs and puts in the big waste bin, which the environmental board will come and clear. So our environment is always kept clean.
All right, if you're just joining us, the program is the Medley Show with Cecil, and we are talking attitude to our environment. So we've talked about waste. We went on the street to ask people when last they come out to do community cleanup or how they get to clean their environment. And you can be part of this conversation by asking, sending us your questions or contributions. Tell us the sanitation practice where you are. You want to share with us what you understand by climate change. Of course, climate change is one big word that we've always been talking. Climate change. At a point, they tell us that the ozone layer is fading. And I don't know how many of people even understand what the ozone layer is. So we hear many words. We hear, first of all, we have greenhouse gases. We hear all those words. Anyhow, we'll try to break it down as we get on with the program. All right, very quickly, Doc, I want to take some messages, but these people would not let me take these messages. That is what they always do. They always keep calling when they say don't call. All right, so anyhow, let's go on to talk about another. Okay, what about our sewage waste? Do you want to touch on that? Where does that go to? Cecil, so much questions. Before we talk sewage waste, where does it go to? Yes, we just flushed, and that's it. Who cares wherever it goes to? But before we get to talk about that, now let's continue our journey. From the home, we trash the babambola does whatever. The big truck comes and take our trash away. Where does it go to from there?
Okay, so one look at the whole value chain. From your home, if you properly dispose your waste, then the waste truck or babambola picks it like we are. They go around collecting it. Because if you don't tie your waste properly, that's when you have the scavengers coming to open your dustbin, looking for something, and then help to dirty the whole environment again. So it's actually important that you separate your waste, because actually they would have gone for whatever they're looking for. If it's plastic, they just pick up the plastic and not opening the whole thing, then dismantling it as if it's an animal that came to open up that place. And so when they pick it up, like for Abuja, for example, every city has a big dump where they dump it. So there's a landfill where it is properly managed. So when it gets to the place, it also goes through the same sorting. So that's why it's important to sort it from home, sort it from the source, whether it's your office, your house, your hospital, wherever you are.
In Abuja, the place, is it far away from residential?
No, yeah, it's far away from residential. Where you actually trust it is around Jidu. So that's the big waste management, for the whole of Abuja. Oh. So it gets to that place. So when it gets to the place, it's also sorted. You have a lot of scavengers in that place, sorting it out, picking up what they need, and then the remaining is properly managed how it's supposed to be. Although it's not a standard landfill, but at least it's something.
Is it like, is it burnt or something?
No, it's not really meant to be burnt, because that's where the climate change issue comes in.
Yes.
So if it's properly sorted out, you're taking out what you're supposed to take out, and then the other one, they're supposed to be decomposed. So in the real of it, you're not supposed to be burning. You're not supposed to have the burning part at all.
Yes.
So it's properly managed. So if you're able to have an opportunity to get to where it is being managed in Abuja. So even when it catches fire, it's not that government set it on fire. It's maybe the weather is too dry and all that. So it's not that So it's not supposed to be on the standard. It's not supposed to be, set on fire.
All right, so let's take some mess. Okay, so on Priska from Rivers State say, please, in my area, we do bag our waste products, but the scavengers, being the Aboki people, use sharp objects and open up these bagged refuse, and nothing has ever been done about it. That's part of the problem I was going to tell you about. Yeah, so I don't know, some people call them Aboki, some call them scavengers. I know in different areas in Lagos, I'm trying to remember what they're called, But anyhow, we know that there are these...
Ebola.
yeah, we just call them...
Babambola, yeah.
yeah, okay, that's another thing we'll call them here. Okay, who is this? Thank you very much. My name is Samson Adegbe from Ayungba, Kogi State. I'm happy for your effort to salvage our community. I wish something can also be done in our community where we dispose all manner into the water channel. That's another thing we'll talk about. Sometimes on the major road, and after rainfall, the whole thing will fill the road and make the community unhealthy. You notice that too, right?
So it's part of it because, like I said, is the behavior that we have, the attitude of not at my backyard. So you don't think it's close to you, so you can treat anyhow you like. It can block the drainages and you're wondering why we're having flooding. And you can block the drainages and everywhere is filtered and you're wondering why we're having cholera. Just because you don't think it's close enough to you, therefore whoever is involved can die because it's not you. You've thrown it from your kitchen outside, but you block the drainages, you litter the whole environment, and then you're wondering why we have Lassa fever.
Yeah.
Because if everybody takes responsibility and feels, no, I shouldn't eat in my car and throw away the dustbin or the waste from my window and litter the environment. If you become very conscious of what you should do or how clean your environment should be, at least dispose your waste properly, you know, so that we don't just end up causing problems for everybody and then you're wondering why my child is sick because, yeah, it doesn't concern you, but it can concern your mom, your cousin, your nephew that is in another place.
All right, let's go to Oyo State. I'm Ayotunde from Oyo State. In my own area, no waste has been there. The place we are still trying to put waste in the middle of the road. Okay, let me take that again. I'm trying to be sure that that's what I'm reading. I'm Ayotunde from Oyo State. In my own area, no waste has been there. The place we still try to be putting waste in the middle of the road. If we still put it there, they will catch us. So please, what do we do? You put waste in the middle of the road. I don't even understand how that even works. She has just said it. Bag your waste properly, and I think in the front of the houses you can just put it there. So when I believe that Oyo State, you should also have the waste management agency that come to pick trash. Yeah, I think almost every state have that, right?
Yeah, but I understand what he's saying. What he's saying is that in some places, just because you're in Abuja and it looks like it's working better than other places, that's what it is.
Yeah, sure.
So what he's trying to say is that they don't have regular disposal trucks that come to pick it. So they end up trying to look for where to dispose it and they probably keep it on the road, hoping that these people will come and pick it up. That's what he's trying to say. So that's where the government comes. There should be a proper way of going around to pick up people's waste. Because if I pack my waste properly and you don't come to dispose it, so what happens?
Okay, now, as an expert in this area now, the government is they are still slacking. I don't know what the minister, if the ministry have any, I don't know if the ministry have one big plan picture. I don't know if state governments have this plan, but for now, the situation is bad. What can all your people do? Yeah,
like you said, every state, they have it. They have Ministry of Health. They have Ministry of Environment that does that. It's just stepping up your game. Just stepping up your game.
Maybe, while the government and the agencies are trying to step up, and what can the local community do? Because they are the ones ultimately living around the area.
So if you have, I've lived in Ibadan, so I schooled in UI. So I know where the central waste disposal waste management is. So what I think they should do is the same thing, getting involved. If they have a way of organizing themselves and getting the truck to come and pick it up. That's as basic as that, to say, okay, because where it is in Ibadan, they have about 2 big ones in Ibadan where they pick it up and make sure that it gets to the dump site, the proper government dump site, where it's supposed to be, not dump site like on your streets, no, the proper government dump site, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So they can get that organized and get trucks to come and pick it up for them.
All right, better still, I think in your area, if you see that these agencies in charge of picking out this trash are not doing well, please do well to keep writing them, go to the office, keep reminding them, be on their neck until they finally say, okay, we are coming.
Yeah, then, like Abuja Environmental Protection Agency. That is for Abuja, that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, in my area, we do sanitation every Wednesday and Saturday. Okay, that's good, but you didn't tell us your name and where you're writing from. Okay, who is this? No name again. Please do write your name and where you're writing us from. We'll appreciate it. I do bag my waste in a bag and take it to the dump site. But the boys that pick the items will scatter the bag. That's another problem. Okay, who is this again? Gifts Harry from Port Harcourt say, I do bag my waste by tying them. But it pains me to my marrow seeing scavengers scattering the debris all over the place, looking for God knows what. We need to make arrests. Okay, this is Gift Harry from Port Harcourt raising a concern. Hello, my name is Olaleye Emmanuel, fresh graduate from EXU. I want to ask the moderator what measures should be applied to make a clean environment. I love to know more about this. What measures can be applied to make a clean environment? Clean environment, you mean your immediate environment like your home, or you mean your immediate environment like your compound, the streets?
Back to what we say, segregate your waste, make sure it's properly disposed. Don't just throw it away anyhow without putting it, at least bagging it, so it makes it easy for whoever comes to carry it. These are like basic things you can do for yourself first, because if you're talking about this public health issue or climate change issue, let's start from ourselves. If you're waiting for that government somewhere to come and reach you, it's too far away.
All right, so while we're talking, waiting for government to do all the things that it's supposed to do, yeah, we know they will do it. Let's take a look at this feature, and this feature is on noise pollution, and this is another pollution that makes me go, ah! All right, this one is put together by Semben, noise pollution, and mostly generators.
These sounds are heard almost on a daily basis in residential areas, office complexes, markets, factories, and others. On a visit to some markets in Nigeria, one could be forgiven for thinking that generators are being sold or sampled. With power generating sets constantly running and providing alternative sources of electricity, there are negative effects that follow. The noise generated can be almost deafening, as a conversation on an average voice level near a power generator would require the discussants to speak at high speech levels. But an environment of multiple generating sets blaring at the same time may require one shouting to be heard. Prolonged exposure to noise from these sets and other loud, noisy environments can cause damaging effects on the eardrums. Health experts say it can cause stress, anxiety, depression, and in some cases, hearing loss. The fumes from power generators are sources of pollution to the environment and pose serious health threats to humans. These fumes contain a poisonous, invisible, and odorless gas called carbon monoxide, and also contain carbon dioxide called CO2, which has been said to be one of the causes of global warming. It is not unusual to see headlines of families or individuals who died of generator fumes. This happens when there's a high concentration of the poisonous carbon monoxide found in the bloodstream. For those with lung-related challenges, stay far away from these fumes. Here are some preventive measures to take when working close to an operating generator. 1. Keep generators far away as possible from the home, work area, or social gathering. 6 meters or 20 feet from a window, vent, or door is the recommended minimum distance. This is to prevent the inhalation of the high concentrate of carbon monoxide emitted. 2. Wearing of noise-cancelling gears like earplugs or headphones are advised when close to loud noises. 3. Take breaks when operating close to a working generator, as it helps the body normalize. While the power generated from these sets are important for our businesses and daily lives, the harm to our health and environment should be a cause for serious concern.
Okay, that's noise pollution. We'll talk about it in a moment with my guest. But quickly, let's take a few messages. I still see So many messages, people talking about waste generation. And remember, our phone number once again is 081 177 You can be part of this conversation. All right, good afternoon. I really appreciate the topic because my husband recycles cans, spoons, and old newspapers to DIY and sell. Ziza Usman from Buari here in the FCT. That's nice. Okay, Ayotunde, I've taken your message already. Who is this? Good afternoon. Okay, who is this? Good afternoon. I'm Gwail Praise from Abuja Buari Area Council. One thing I must say about our environment is that people around are the cause of the pollution. People always throw away inside water. Yeah, throwing away your trash inside water. And like you said, this is what causes the cholera. I know cholera is an outbreak already. Initially, I thought it was just in the FCT, but now I hear it's quite in a number of places. All right, let's go to Lagos. I want to commend Lagos State Government for a job well done, especially on the area of environmental maintenance. But we Lagosians are just too rude. Okay, I also want to beg PSP to help us more instead of visiting some places once in 3 months. Our attitude towards our environment is not encouraging. Audu Ocharefu. Okay, Audu from Lagos. Thank you very much for that. Hi, Cecile. I'm Salifu Amade from Dekina, Kogi State. In Nigeria, everyone is guilty. I don't care. They have I don't care attitude about the environmental sanitation. Nobody usually care about waste generation and the disposal. I'm also guilty. And the whole thing, but I promise to take necessary action. All right, I hope with all what we're talking about today, at least someone, somewhere, some of you, some people would actually try to make amends. All right, we'll still take more messages. I know still on your environment, but let's talk noise. Noise is also in our environment. That feature we just talk about generator noise, the fumes and everything. And I've seen on some paper headlines, they will say, family of this die in generator fumes, sometimes it's air. I know of someone who speaks pretty loud, and I keep wondering, you are shouting, we are just to hear. And someone told me that he has maybe something could be, I don't know, share with us about this noise pollution. How bad is it?
Okay. Okay, I've been around for over a year, little over a year. When I came back to Nigeria, it was crazy. I could not understand the noise.
Honey or
everything? That's okay. Where I was staying, when I came in, I was staying with my brother, and there was a mosque close by that just faced the microscope, the speaker, just towards the window, and they don't care what you're talking about. So when it comes to noise pollution, it's a serious issue in Nigeria. It's not only causing deafness, but there are other things it can cause. Even if you're not deaf, it can cause mental issue. You cannot sleep well. You are fatigued. You are stressed out. You are having diseases that cannot even relate to the noise pollution. It took me 7 months of complaining to Abuja Environmental Protection Board to come and stop the mosque from disturbing me from sleep. I could not sleep.
I think it's a
so it's not just the worship centers, the churches. You put your loudspeaker and then you disturb everybody. But wherever your right stops is where another person's right starts. Yesterday is World Day of Tolerance. It just simply means respecting another person. So you want to put on your generator to disturb another person because it doesn't disturb you. It's not at your backyard. Another person can go to hell because it doesn't disturb you. You go to the restaurant, you go for parties when the DJ is playing music. He doesn't even care. The DJ is just busy dancing and everybody is going deaf. You go for a party, you can't even talk. Everybody is shouting. So even from that, and the funny thing is that Nigeria has laws that 1 year in prison for noise pollution.
Are you serious?
Yes. But we don't implement them. We don't. You go to parties, the DJ is playing so much, it's so loud, and they're wondering, do you understand that some of us are going deaf? Do you understand you're disturbing your neighbors? Then talk about people that are selling music. Oh my Lord. Then you want to sell your cassette and then we all cannot hear. It was in Lagos.
Yes.
So noise pollution is serious matter. It's not just, the effect is not only on being deaf, there's mental health issues attached to it. You can't sleep well. You are permanently stressed out. There are so many things. Even high blood pressure. Yes, the people people react to noise in different ways. But the thing is that because you have so much and you're not being emphasized, that you might not even know that this is what is causing your problem.
Maybe village people or something.
No, it doesn't. Village people, it's not always village people. Sometimes it is, but because we've gotten used to getting away with so many things that you don't know that it's a crime to disturb another person with your noise. So not just your generator. Please, you have your generator. Can you put it off for other people to sleep? At least in your neighborhood, there should be a time. If it's 11 o'clock, 12 midnight, or 11 p.m., please put it off so other people can sleep. Some people can't sleep. Some people end up being in the hospital because they can't sleep, and you caused it. But because you don't care.
Yeah, because I better pass my neighbor. Okay, no, I get the point. I get the point you're trying to make. And really, noise pollution is something, like you said, I was trying to read it up before now. The many health challenges that you just, when you mentioned blood pressure, I actually saw that and I was wondering, like, okay, how do you relate that? I know of the hearing aid thing, the people having hearing problems. This guy would just be shouting. I'll say, calm down, you are shouting, you are shouting. So someone said that maybe over time he's been around very loud noise. So I don't know how it affects the eardrums and you need to speak loud. So sometimes it feels like he's speaking on a very normal voice level, but in his mind he doesn't know, I mean.
He's not hearing himself, that's why he's shouting. Himself. So he maybe has some partial deafness and he doesn't know.
Wow, okay,
Yes.
I don't know. And another thing is the fumes, because that's when we hear that because this family, they put the generator so close to their window, then the fumes, I hear that the fumes are so poisonous that they inhale it, and next thing we hear that the family or an individual dies.
Yeah.
That's so sad. All right, I'll take a few more messages and then we'll talk climate change. Okay, let's go to WhatsApp. Toby from Ibadan. Okay, my name is Toby from Ibadan. We are also guilty, but I wanted to help us beg the government to provide a very good, I don't know what is writing here. Okay, to pick up the dump, to dump the refuse. Okay, yeah, I want, I don't know, the collection of refuse to be done properly in this area. My name is Ibiye George from Port Harcourt. The men who come to pick the waste just pack some and leave some. Okay. Good afternoon. Our government have a lot to do because our security personnel caught people doing wrong. They will collect money and free them. Okay, well, that's another one. All right, I'll take climate change now in a minute. Let me just take Philip from Abia State. Good day, Cecil and Doctor. Waste management is very costly. Our waste management can be a huge source of revenue as well as create jobs. But I'm disappointed that our government have refused to tap into it. In all the states of the Federation, the story is the same. It's negligence on the part of governments that results in indiscriminate disposal of refuse. So now, is it a case of the hen and the egg, which comes first? You blame the government, but also, like she said, it starts from you. So that's another thing, something to think about. All right, now let's go on quickly to talk climate change because we're running out of time. And like I said at the beginning, when we're talking climate change, we hear many of these words, many of these big words. We really don't know what it is. We just look at climate change. Okay, you don't know why the sun is shining so brightly. You don't know why the water levels is changing and everything. Anyhow, it's time for us to talk, learn some terminologies as it relates with climate change. Here are some terminologies you'll be hearing as we discuss it.
Wildfires are unplanned burns in any natural environment like a forest or a grassland. Wildfires spread quickly, burning through almost anything in their path. These factors can be directly and indirectly tied to climate change.
All right, I hope you understand a little of some of these terms. So when you get to see them as the issue of climate change is being discussed, you'll have an idea of what we're talking about. So let's go to COP26. Doctor, give us a brief on how that went. Give us a brief, let's in simple terms.
Okay, COP26 simply means Conference of Parties. This is the 26th time that is happening. So this is COP26. So we had COP1, COP2, COP3, COP4. This is COP26. So next year we're going to have COP27, right? And so it simply means when you come to COP, you discuss climate issues. How do we, the main goal is how would everybody, different countries, contribute to reducing global warming? The earth is heating up, so the weather is getting hotter than it used to be. So what can we do to reduce it? So from the developed countries that have developed, the industrialized nations, they produce more of those emissions that is heating up the environment. There are several gases, greenhouse gases, that is heating up the environment, depleting the ozone layer. But compared to developing countries or in the villages, we are not producing enough, right? So now, those countries, those developed countries that have contributed more should pay more, so that we can also, we cannot stop our own development just because there's climate change. We also want to develop. But what can we do to reduce it? What are the things we are doing now that is contributing to us having climate health issues? What are the things we can do on our own as a country to reduce those things? So these are the things different countries come together and discuss at COP26 and say, this is what we have done, this is what I need you to do, this is what I need you to do. They're looking at China, they're looking at US, they contribute more.
They're the largest,
so we go as, so at COP is a negotiation.
I understand that Africa just generates 5% of the global, of the whole global carbon emitted. Africa, just, so when the President Buhari went to COP, he actually lamented seriously that these big countries who supposedly generate most of this waste seem not to care so much about the rest of us in Africa, who after all have to bear the brunt, because somehow they have ways of managing theirs, but we are stuck with it. Even though I know, like, we have this electric car thing. Yes, I know. Some weeks back I brought in the DG of the automotive industry, who talked about trying to promote electric car in Nigeria. At least that's going to be part of the ways to help, manage emissions from our regular. You don't agree from the way you're looking. You think it's quite more than that?
I think it's a little more technical. Yeah, it's okay. We, like I said, in COP is a negotiation. So everybody comes, have their own negotiators to discuss what are we doing. So in fact, for you to be there, you must have submitted what you as a country want to do to improve. So yes, the developed countries don't care about us, but we do even care about ourselves. What are we doing? We just talked about waste management.
Okay, this waste management we're talking about, how does it relate to this whole climate?
Yeah, okay. I think, Celia, you're just everywhere.
Yes, I'm everywhere because we need to link almost everything somehow.
I'm a lecturer. Yeah, you need to be methodological in your question.
Well, I'm a communicator. My business is to communicate as much as possible. Anyhow, and while we're at that, we'll have this argument behind the camera. So meanwhile, let's take a look at some of the countries that emits the biggest, the highest, the most of these emissions that is offending the climate, and then we'll be back to have our closing thoughts. Yeah, we see some of the countries that generate most of these things that we are suffering. So the president have asked that these big countries should have to finance. He joined his voice to that of other African leaders to say these big countries, you have to join to finance developing countries to see that we achieve our target. I know he's also looking at Nigeria is considering nuclear, Anyhow, we'll talk about that in another program, in another platform. But meanwhile, let's take a quick look at recycling plastic waste. All right, recycling plastic waste is supposed to be our last feature, but I think we'll rather take some few messages before. Let's take a few messages while that is... Good day, Doctor. Okay, good day, Doctor. I'm enjoying your program, watching you live from my office in Oka. Oka is clean because we clean up every day. Doctor, I love you. How can you be contacted? This is Reverend Barrister Victor from Uyo. And the doctor is laughing. Like she's actually laughing. Okay, Doc, you heard that. It's not me. You've seen her. Good afternoon. I'm here from Anambra State. We do clean up, but the challenge is that we don't know where to dispose it. This is lucky for Anambra State. My name is Onyekachi. I base in Port Harcourt. We do street weekly cleanup, which we take to waste bin dump, where we dispose of it. And okay, where we put it and they come to carry it. Doctor, someone likes you and you're just laughing. Can you imagine? Please let me continue my messages. Thank you for your program. Thank you for this program. For me, I don't keep waste. I used to burn them. Daniel from Just. That's doctor's face. You know that face says, are you for real? Remind Daniel again why burning waste is bad.
Okay, so Daniel, burning waste is not good because I don't know what you are burning. You are releasing a lot of emissions into the environment, and that's what is contributing to the ozone layer. So if you have a lot of chemicals, so say for example batteries, plastics, you have the content, I don't know what the content is, and you're burning and you're releasing those emissions into the environment. So you're also contributing to the climate change you're talking about. So because when you have proper waste management, there shouldn't be any need for the burning in the first place. Okay. So I know I once wrote NAFDAC when I saw that they were burning the drugs that were seized and you burn them. You have tires that are burned. I'm like, are you serious? So you seize, the customs seize the tires and you burn them. Yes. Then NAFDAC sees the drugs and you burn them. You know, you are contributing to our problem. So can we look for plan B on how to manage it and not to burn them? So Daniel, you're contributing to that. So we can look for alternatives. Like I said, try to segregate your wastes from home and give the plastics to people that are a lot of companies that recycle plastics. That's what Mebola is looking for. They're looking for pure water nylon. They're looking for nylons. They're looking for bottles. Yeah, you know, they take it. But if you already have them segregated, like we said, it makes it easy for Bambola to come and pick it up without scattering the whole waste. All right.
Good day, sir. So I love the program. Keep it up. I am Ephraim from Makodi. Oh, thank you very much, Ephraim. All right. I'm Ezekiel. Ezekiel, where are you writing from? It says, I am learning a lot on the program today. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Tamkuro Joe from Port Harcourt. In my area, the basic area of waste disposal is waterways. How safe is it? You know that thing, you just go to dump your refuse. Let me you take that very quickly alongside this one before we say bye-bye. I'm Tochi from Enugu. I love the show. Here in Enugu, the ESWMA, that is the agency responsible for waste disposal and environmental management, are very active here on duty. But the problem is individuals who neglect the program. Individuals also always a problem. All right, in 30 seconds, can you just talk about what this question of dumping your refuse inside waterways?
Okay. Like I said, that's not the right way to dispose your waste. You cannot just put it in waterways, block everywhere, and then you're wondering why we have flood. You can't block it and be wondering why we have Lassa fever, we have cholera, so it's not the right way to dispose your waste. We shouldn't dispose it in our drainages and cause problem. So just dispose your waste properly. Let's take responsibility. Like you've seen what the president said at the COP26. If you are waiting for developed countries to develop us, we'll wait for a long time. We need to do something on our own. We can't develop on aid. It's not possible.
Dr. Chimere May Ohajinwa. She's an environmentalist and she's talked to us a whole lot about many areas. She's touched a little here, a little there. She's complaining that, no, she needed to focus on one. But I said, let's touch. It's a potpourri. We're going to...
more public health.
Well, thank you very much once again for coming around. We'll still bring you on. I hope you'll be ready to talk in other areas. She laughs. All right, my name is Cecil Egbele. Thank you very much. I see all your messages. And like Doctor has told us, it all starts with you. Of course, the government have a whole lot to do. But let's do our part so that when we're pointing fingers at the government, we'll know that we're good and we're clean. All right, let's do this again next week on the Medley Show with Cecil. Bye-bye.